Welcome to Voice of Africa. I'm your presenter, bringing you another powerful report from the heart of the continent. Today, we shine a spotlight on the National Society of Precious Substances, known as SONASP, a state institution that has completely changed the way Burkina Faso handles its gold and precious minerals. This story is far bigger than mining. It is about sovereignty, transformation, and the new economic identity the country is shaping under the leadership of Captain Ibrahim Traoré. Over the past 2 years, SONASP has disrupted the old system, expanded national control over the mining industry, increased the country's gold reserves, and ensured that wealth coming from the soil finally benefits Burkinabè citizens. Before we continue, please like this video, subscribe, and share it with others across Africa and the diaspora. Your engagement helps amplify African voices worldwide. Now let's begin this important report.
National Precious Substances Company, or SONASP for short, is a state-owned company that resulted from the transformation of the National Agency for the Supervision of Artisanal and Semi-Mechanized Mining Operations, or ANIMAS for short. SONASP operates under 3 supervisory bodies, namely technical supervision from the Ministry in charge of Mines, management supervision from the Ministry in charge of Commerce, and financial supervision from the Ministry in charge of Finance. It should also be noted that the Burkinabè authorities, under the enlightened leadership of Comrade Captain Ibrahim Traoré, head of state, president of Faso, sought to structurally transform the country's mining sector in order to increase the economic benefits and to be in line with the challenges of our time.
SONASP was created with one purpose: to make sure Burkina Faso's minerals serve the people and not private interests. The institution replaced the old agency in charge of supervising artisanal mining, turning it into a stronger and more centralized national company with the authority to buy, process, transform, and commercialize precious substances, especially gold. It operates under 3 ministries: Mines for technical direction, Commerce for management supervision, and Finance for the financial oversight. This structure ensures transparency and national control. SONASP's establishment is part of Captain Ibrahim Traoré's broader agenda to build a responsible mining sector, one that protects the environment, empowers miners, and generates real wealth for the country.
We started the purchasing aspect of industrial production in mid-2023. For that period, we were able to purchase around 5 tons. In 2024, we were able to purchase 14 tons from the industrial units. And in 2025, as of September 30th, we are at practically 11.4 tons. If this trend continues with these industrial mines, we believe that around December 31st, we will have a quantity of around 14 tons.
Under the guidance of the current leadership, Burkina Faso moved away from a system where foreign companies and private buyers dictated the flow of gold. In the past, the state did not even know how much gold was being produced, and unbelievably, the country had no official gold reserve. That has now changed. With SONASP at the center, Burkina Faso now keeps direct control over its production. Artisanal miners are producing more than ever, industrial companies are selling through the state, and the country has begun building its own gold reserve for the first time in history. This marks a major turning point for sovereignty and national pride.
The coming year, 2026, will not only be a year for further consolidating our achievements, but also a year for further intensifying our gold collection, especially through the opening of new counters in our cities.
For years, artisanal gold production in Burkina Faso remained extremely low and poorly documented. From 2015 to 2023, the annual reported amount barely reached 500 kilograms per year. In 2024, the first full year of SONASP's operation, that number suddenly skyrocketed to more than 8.1 tons, a historic achievement. And 2025 showed even greater progress. By September 30th alone, artisanal production reached 29.5 tons, a number far above anything ever recorded. If the trend continues, the country will surpass every previous record by the end of the year. This is not a coincidence. It is a direct result of the state being present at mining sites, working with miners, and eliminating middlemen who used to smuggle gold out of the country.
Second aspect in this component is the creation of treatment centers. The creation of treatment centers, that is for treating minerals or mining residues. And for this aspect, we have already set up a center in the village of Pompuna in the Dori region. And today it's about acquiring the equipment to make this anticipated center operational.
SONASP has also taken charge of buying industrial gold directly from mining companies. Purchasing began in mid-2023 with about 5 tons. By the end of 2024, SONASP had secured around 14 tons. In 2025, as of September, the company had collected another 11.4 tons, with projections to reach another 14-ton record by the end of the year. This state-run purchasing system strengthens economic sovereignty, prevents illegal exports, and ensures the gold trade remains under national oversight.
Before the law of July 18, 2024, there was a regulation on the matter, namely Law 028 of May 18, 2017, which effectively organized the commercialization of gold. And in that law, it's true, it was necessary we imposed permits. But this permit
allowed companies, counters, let's say legal entities in general, and artisanal miners to buy, sell, and conduct all sorts of transactions with gold, both domestically and internationally. This means they could collect gold within the country, sell it to anyone, so to speak, and even export it out of Burkina Faso. Now, with the new regulations, all those who have industrial exploitation.
To better support artisanal miners and bring the state closer to local producers, SONASP opened multiple gold buying counters, one in Bobo Dioulasso, another in Gawa, and most recently one in Banfora. The plan going into 2026 is to expand even further, adding more counters across the nation. The company is also building mineral treatment centers, the first already set up in Pampora in the Dori region, which will allow the state to process mining residues and recover additional gold that would otherwise be wasted.
Permits. I'm talking about the large mines, in simple terms, the large mines. This license already gives them the right to sell their gold both within the country and outside the country. But even for sales outside the country, any exportation is always regulated. It's under the supervision of the state through SONASP. As for the holders of semi-mechanized exploitation permits and the beneficiaries of artisanal gold exploitation authorizations are indeed permitted to commercialize their gold, but only within the country. They are no longer allowed to export it, and even within the country, they must sell their gold exclusively to SONASP.
One of the biggest reforms came with the updated mining code introduced on July 18, 2024. Under the old 2017 law, private companies, counters, and artisanal miners could buy, sell, and export gold as they wished. This opened the door to large-scale smuggling and underground networks. The 2024 mining code shut down that system completely. Industrial companies with valid exploitation licenses can still sell their gold, but exports must pass through SONASP. Semi-mechanized and artisanal miners can only sell inside the country and only to SONASP. Exportation without state authorization is now illegal. This ensures that minerals extracted from Burkina Faso benefit Burkina Faso. Equipped with full state ownership and a capital base of 250 million CFA francs, SONASP is now preparing the next phase. The company plans to establish semi-mechanized gold production units on the 7 sites it controls. This forms part of a much larger national strategy, transforming the mining sector structurally so that wealth generation becomes sustainable and long-term. The end goal is clear. Gold from Burkina Faso must shine for its citizens first.
Before we close, I want to hear from you. Your voice matters on this journey toward African economic liberation. Tell us in the comments, do you believe SONASP represents a new model for African resource independence? What steps should other African countries take to ensure the wealth beneath their soil benefits their people? Your reflections help shape the Africa we want to build.